Greetings. This evening, the adventure leads us to a realm more foreign than the lunar landscape, a location that is present on our very own planet, yet is shrouded in mystery. They are journeying to the deepest point of their world, the Mariana Trench. This is not merely a plunge into the eternal dark. It is an exploration of hidden truths. The exploration will delve into the enigmatic metallic sounds reverberating from its walls, the elusive phantom fish encountered by the initial explorers, and the peculiar biological paradoxes, phantoms of the abyss, and transparent hunters that would dissolve if transported to our realm. And we shall ponder the quiet, unsettling question: how did our own ghost, a mere plastic bag, manage to arrive at this unreachable place before we did? If this gentle, unhurried journey into the realm of mystery resonates with you, I would truly appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe. Sharing in the comments where you are listening from and what time it is for you brings a soothing sense of connection. Now, settle into your comfortable position, lower the lights, take a deep breath as we embark on a journey beyond the confines of the map. The map presents a deceptive image, leading us to perceive our world as a completed enigma. In their minds, the globe is complete. Satellites exist that can map out every street, every river, and every distant mountain peak. The surface has been thoroughly photographed, leading us to believe that no blank spaces remain. Yet, that is the profound deception of the exterior. The true maps reach their limits at the water's edge, and when they attempt to reveal what lies beneath, they often rely on speculation, artistic interpretations, and imprecise, low-resolution sonar scans that depict the ocean floor in broad, indistinct strokes. The Mariana Trench stands as the definitive evidence of this notion. It stretches for 2,500 kilometers across the planet's surface, a scar that has persistently eluded our efforts to fully comprehend it. The cause of this ignorance is straightforward, rooted in absolute pressure. On the surface, one finds themselves enveloped in a gentle, comforting layer of air. Its weight often slips from our minds. Yet as we journey deeper into the ocean, the pressure accumulates with an unyielding, logical force. With each 10-meter descent, an additional atmosphere of weight envelops you. Now envision a descent of 7 miles, 11,000 meters. At the bottom of the trench, the pressure of the water above is more than 1,100 times that of the surface. This pressure acts as a reversed force. It bends solid steel as though it were mere paper. It shatters bone into dust. It compresses matter with such intensity that it alters the fundamental principles of chemistry and biology. This is the reason the moon proved to be simpler. The moon existed as a barren expanse, an emptiness that demanded our ingenuity to infuse it with technology and sustain life. The trench stands in stark contrast. It is not a void. It stands as a formidable entity, a power that resists with the heft of a whole universe. And this is what renders the map devoid of detail, not due to the trench being devoid of content, but rather because it brims with an overwhelming force, a force for which we were never designed to endure. It is a location that conceals its mysteries with great skill. As one envisions that profound abyss, that overwhelming, complete obscurity, another thought often emerges alongside it: quietude, a serene, complete stillness. A profound stillness prevails in a realm where neither light nor warmth can endure. An empty void comes into view. However, that belief, much like the map, is incorrect. One of the most surprising discoveries about the Mariana Trench is that it resonates with unexpected sounds. In truth, it can be among the most cacophonous locations on the planet. In recent years, scientists have lowered highly sensitive titanium-encased microphones, known as hydrophones, into the depths of the abyss. They anticipated capturing a moment of silence. Instead, the instruments were overwhelmed by a cascade of sound. The explanation for this lies in the principles of physics. The distinct interplay of pressure, temperature, and depth gives rise to what oceanographers refer to as a deep sound channel. This channel serves as a significant natural amplifier. The sound that enters cannot easily find its way out. It journeys across vast distances, spanning thousands of kilometers, with minimal energy loss. And what sounds did these hydrophones capture? Their ears caught the subtle rhythms of the Earth's movements, the persistent, deep rumble of the tectonic plates, shifting and colliding with one another, the distinct noise of the trench taking shape. The deep rumbles of underwater earthquakes were recorded from half a world away. They, too, listened to the whispers of the surface's phantoms. The distant, churning thrum of a supertanker's propellers, passing miles above, resonated as a constant, haunting hum. The tumult of a typhoon roared above, its force reaching deep beneath the surface. And most haunting of all, they perceived the essence of life. The deep, intricate melodies of baleen whales resonate from distant oceans. A solitary whale's call, confined within this channel, possesses the ability to traverse an entire ocean basin. The trench reveals itself as a planetary echo chamber. It is a location that holds and echoes nearly every profound sound that exists in the world. The sounds of the earth, the ships, and the whales are among those we can recognize. However, it is the anomalies in the recordings that genuinely perplex researchers, the sounds that defy any established pattern. For decades, the most renowned of these was a sound known as the Leviathan echo. In 1997, an ultra-low frequency, high-amplitude sound was recorded. The force was so immense that it resonated through hydrophones located thousands of kilometers away. For a time, it stood as the ideal embodiment of a deep-sea creature, something surpassing even the immense blue whale. The truth, as it unfolded, revealed itself to be nearly as captivating. Eventually, scientists traced the sound not to a living entity, but to the catastrophic cracking and breaking of a massive ice shelf in Antarctica. What echoed through the air was merely the sound of ice, devoid of any monstrous presence. Yet, the Mariana Trench possesses a peculiar symphony of its own. During the years 2014 and 2015, researchers utilizing deep-diving floats in the trench encountered an unprecedented phenomenon, a sound that eluded their understanding. The peculiar 5-part call unfolded in a mere span of 3 seconds. It began with profound groans, reminiscent of a foghorn, and then abruptly soared into a high-pitched, nearly metallic twang. It was referred to as the metallic subaquatic ping. They listened repeatedly, time after time. It was unlike any whale that had been identified before. It was not reminiscent of any geological event. It was intricate, cyclical, and appeared, to everyone, as if it were a message. To this day, the prevailing theory suggests that it could be a new, yet-to-be-discovered call of a minke whale. However, it remains merely a theory. No one has ever witnessed such a sound being produced, and its mechanical quality is unlike anything a whale ought to create. And then, there exist the additional reports. The unverified, nearly anecdotal narratives from submarine crews and deep-sea researchers. The echo of clanking metal resonated in a realm where such noise was unexpected, a rhythmic tapping emerging from the shadowy depths of the abyss. Are these merely the remnants of ancient shipwrecks resting on the ocean floor, or the sound of stones shifting in an underwater gorge? The trench, it appears, excels at concealing its more peculiar sounds from the world. That is the question that lingers in our minds. When an unfamiliar sound reaches our ears from an unseen source, our imagination often conjures a vivid and complex scene. It often envisions something grand. In today's world, there exists a particular giant we enjoy envisioning in the depths, a figure that has navigated its way from ancient times into the realm of contemporary culture. The tale of the megalodon unfolds with a sense of grandeur and mystery, inviting the reader to explore its depths and complexities. The concept holds significant strength. It is remarkable that a 60-foot shark, an apex predator from a bygone era, could have survived. It merely escaped the chilling surface waters of the ice ages, seeking sanctuary in the one location on Earth that remains largely unexplored. Yet, this appears to be one secret that the trench cannot conceal. The science itself poses a formidable challenge. A creature akin to Megalodon, a colossal warm-blooded predator, would have required an immense quantity of sustenance, relying on a continuous availability of sizable prey. In stark contrast, the deep ocean is frequently portrayed as a barren expanse, devoid of nourishment. In that place, existence unfolds under the constraints of scarcity, primarily relying on the meager marine snow that descends from above for survival. A megalodon would probably face starvation. No evidence exists for its survival, whether in the form of modern teeth or remains. Nevertheless, the concept of giants lurking in the depths holds a certain truth. Indeed, it stands as one of the most peculiar realities of the abyss. Though the trench may not conceal the titans of yesteryear, it seems to be in the process of forging new ones. In the shadows, amidst the chill, beneath the unyielding weight, a biological enigma unfolds. It is referred to as deep-sea gigantism. It is a phenomenon where creatures that seem small and insignificant, such as shrimp or lice, gradually transform into slow, lumbering, and unusually large versions of their former selves. Thus, the notion of a giant holds truth, yet perhaps our search has been misguided in its focus. The trench appears ill-suited for the swift, warm-blooded hunters we envision. Rather, it nurtures a distinct type of giant, one that is slow, pale, and well-suited to a realm defined by cold and endurance. Yet, those genuine giants, those ghostly, sluggish beings, remained a mystery to us for an extended period. To uncover their presence, it was necessary to go beyond merely deploying microphones. They had to go themselves. In 1960, two men embarked on that very journey. The vessel they operated was the Trieste, a bathyscaphe designed in Switzerland and owned by the American Navy. It was a remarkable design, a colossal float brimming with gasoline, which is less dense than water and withstands compression, featuring a small, fortified steel sphere suspended below. Within that confined sphere, just spacious enough for their seating, were Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh. Their mission was to become the pioneers who would reach the deepest floor on Earth, the threat ultimate floor. The sphere had been constructed to endure the immense pressure, its walls a formidable 5 inches thick. Yet, uncertainty lingered in the air about its true resilience. The calculations existed as mere theory. The trench existed as a tangible truth. The descent unfolded gradually, stretching over nearly 5 hours. They descended through the final rays of light into the complete, icy void. And then, at an altitude exceeding 30,000 feet, nearly 10,000 meters below, it occurred. A sound resonated, one that had never echoed through the annals of human history at such profound depths. A solitary, piercing, and resoundingly loud crack echoed through the air. It was neither a creak nor a groan. A distinct, resonant thud reverberated throughout the entire ship. At that moment, they existed as the two most solitary souls on Earth, enveloped in complete darkness, 7 miles from the sun, with no glimmer of salvation in sight. And they had just perceived what seemed to be the failure of their diminutive sphere. For an extended, charged moment, they observed their instruments, scrutinizing for any signs of a leak or a shift in pressure. Nothing. The source was eventually discovered by them. It was not the hull. It was an outer plexiglass window on the entry tube, a non-structural piece that had ultimately given way to a force it was never meant to withstand. The inner sphere, the one sustaining their existence, remained intact. A decision was made by them. They remained grounded. They continued to descend, forging ahead beyond the limits of familiar engineering and into the vast unknown, until, after hours of relentless effort, their modest vessel finally came to rest softly upon a delicate layer of pale silt. They had arrived. The silence that followed that violent crack took on a new quality, the quietude of arrival. Beyond the small window, the fine silt cloud, disturbed by their arrival, slowly began to calm and settle. With a flick of a switch, they activated their robust external lights, slicing through the ancient darkness with a brilliant cone of white that had never before been seen. The world they observed was uncomplicated, a smooth, light-hued expanse of what appeared to be delicate, creamy earth, untouched and serene, the foundation of existence. In that beam of light, a movement stirred. Both men, Picard and Walsh, conveyed their accounts with clarity. A creature was seen by them. It was neither a sea cucumber nor a shrimp. They insisted it was a flatfish, resembling a sole or a flounder, measuring about a foot in length, and it had eyes. It gazed at their light, and then, unsettled by their presence, glided slowly away, vanishing back into the shadows. At first glance, this report represented a significant transformation. It was more than mere evidence of existence. It served as evidence of intricate, vertebrate existence. A fish, a creature endowed with bones, eyes, and a nervous system, flourishes in an environment where such biological existence was deemed unfeasible. Or perhaps it was not. In the years following that initial groundbreaking dive, that flatfish has transformed into a specter. It remains a lingering, unsettling scientific debate. No other mission, not James Cameron's, nor any of the numerous robotic probes that have subsequently explored the ultimate floor, has ever encountered another one. Not a single photograph or moment of video has managed to capture a vertebrate fish at this, the deepest point imaginable. The prevailing view among scientists today suggests that Picard and Walsh were probably in error. It is now understood that the pressure at that depth is simply too great. At an altitude of 11,000 meters, the pressure becomes so intense that it can disrupt the essential proteins and calcium crucial for vertebrate life. The cells of a fish, its fundamental composition, would find it challenging to operate effectively. What was it that they observed? Scientists argue that the most likely candidate was a sea cucumber, a creature without a backbone. Certain species of holothurian residing in the deep ooze exhibit a pale, flat appearance and employ fin-like appendages to swim, mimicking the movements of a fish. Yet, the two men present, the sole human witnesses, stood their ground unwaveringly. They were adamant that they understood the distinction between a fish and a sea cucumber. Thus, the enigma endures. Did they make a mistake? Could it merely be a faint, sluggish invertebrate with their thoughts understandably rattled following a 7-mile, window-shattering plunge? Or did they catch a fleeting glimpse of a genuine vertebrate that has defied the very laws of biology, a specter that has vanished without a trace? The initial plunge in 1960 slightly ajar the door. However, it would take over half a century for another individual to revisit that particular, most profound location. This time, the ship was entirely transformed. It was not an awkward balloon-shaped bathyscaphe. It was a high-tech, emerald-hued deep-sea vessel designed with precision to descend rather than remain buoyant. It was the Deep-Sea Challenger, and within, there was not merely a pair of souls. There existed but a singular one. In 2012, the film director James Cameron, a man with a deep fascination for the ocean, chose to fulfill the quest initiated by those who came before him. Yet, he desired to undertake it by himself. His descent was, unlike the Triestes, swift and contemporary. He descended into the abyss, plummeting at a speed of 500 feet per minute. Yet, the psychological aspects of the journey were likely even more profound. Envision the solitude. The crew of Trieste found solace in one another's company, a steadying force amidst the depths they explored. Cameron found himself surrounded by the soft hum of his electronics, accompanied solely by the rhythm of his own breathing. He found himself trapped within a steel sphere, so constricted that he could not fully extend his arms, his knees drawn tightly to his chest for hours on end. As he fell, he was not merely departing from the world, he was also parting ways with humanity. He was, in every sense, transforming into the most isolated human in the cosmos. More isolated than the astronauts aboard the space station, who had the comfort of gazing down at the Earth through their window. Cameron gazed through his small viewport, confronted by an overwhelming expanse of unyielding, featureless darkness. He portrayed the sensation not as fear, but rather as a deep, almost philosophical sense of solitude. He experienced, as he expressed, a feeling of presence, the profound, hushed essence of a location that seemed to reject his presence, a location that showed no concern for his existence. He found himself in a realm that remained forever unaware of his existence, a solitary beacon of warmth and illumination amidst a frigid, shadowy, and timeless expanse. Alongside that profound, alien solitude, James Cameron discovered much more. He stood as an explorer, a filmmaker, eager to seize an image of something unprecedented, a peculiar life form, an unusual geological formation, anything that would characterize this profound frontier. He discovered something that characterized the frontier, yet not in the manner he, or anyone else, had anticipated. As his powerful lights swept across the pale, silty floor in the most remote, most inaccessible, most untouched place on planet Earth, it was seen by him. It was not an illusion of a fish. It was not a novel species of colossal amoeba. It was an discarded synthetic relic. There, 7 miles down, in a place that had long withstood the touch of humanity, lay the nonchalant, eternal mark of our own negligence. An unassuming object discarded without thought. Consider the significance of that revelation. They had scarcely succeeded in sending 2, and then just 1, individual to this location. It demanded the utmost of our engineering, courage, and resources, and yet the garbage had arrived there first, without any struggle. It had quietly descended, floating through the shadows for what felt like weeks, months, or even years, until it finally came to rest on the ocean floor, a synthetic spectre awaiting our arrival. This revelation unfolded subtly, casting a shadow of unease. It became evident that the map no longer contained any truly blank spaces. It revealed that no location, regardless of its depth, darkness, or overwhelming hostility, is beyond the reach of our impact. The most alien place on Earth unexpectedly resonated with a sense of unsettling familiarity. It revealed that our ambitions have surpassed our capabilities. A world shrouded in mystery has been tainted by our actions, leaving us to grapple with the consequences of our ignorance. It served as a haunting glimpse into a more sinister truth, revealing that this profound trench, this untouched void, could very well be the Earth's ultimate, shadowy, and most concealed repository of waste. What is the origin of this place, this abyss, a mirror of our negligence? What is its geological nature? It is referred to as a trench, though that term may not fully capture its essence. It implies a trench that was excavated, or a mere fissure that gaped wide. The truth unfolds at a deliberate pace, wielding a profound strength. The Mariana Trench emerged as a consequence of a collision. It is a location where the Earth is currently engaged in the process of self-recycling. It is shaped by the collision of 2 of the planet's enormous tectonic plates. For countless eons, the immense and time-worn Pacific plate has been slowly traversing the ocean floor, and for just as long, it has been colliding with the smaller, more recent Philippine plate. In this monumental, gradual collision, it is the Pacific plate, characterized by its age and density, that ultimately yields. It is compelled to plunge, to curve, and to graze beneath the Philippine plate. This process is known as subduction, yet the magnitude is difficult to fathom. This event is neither clean nor simple. It is a relentless process, marked by the grinding, tearing, and splintering of the entire crust. As the Pacific Plate descends into the Earth's scorching mantle, it pulls the edge of the overlying plate along, forming a deep, V-shaped scar on the ocean floor. The process unfolds at an excruciatingly slow pace. The plates shift at a pace comparable to the growth of your fingernails, advancing just a few centimeters each year. Yet, throughout the vast expanse of geological time, that gradual and unyielding motion has etched a gorge that surpasses the height of Mount Everest. Thus, when we observe the trench, we are not merely viewing an unchanging element. A live, ongoing geological event of immense power unfolds before us. And this relentless, ongoing motion is neither smooth nor silent. It serves as a catalyst for some of the planet's most dramatic events. The grinding, swallowing motion of one plate diving beneath another unfolds with a certain roughness, lacking any semblance of smoothness. The event unfolds in a tumultuous, brutal, and disorderly manner. As the Pacific Plate is compelled to descend into the mantle, it does not merely glide, it grates, it curves, and in certain areas, it becomes ensnared. For decades, or even centuries, a section of the plate remains firmly locked in place, steadfast against the forces of movement. Yet the remainder of the plate, an unyielding force of a continent-sized slab, continues to advance. The tension escalates, an immense pressure gathering within the rock, deep beneath the seabed, stretching for miles. It accumulates and intensifies, until at last, the rock can no longer contain it and breaks apart. At that moment, the accumulated energy bursts forth in a sudden, forceful surge. A tremor shakes the ground. However, these earthquakes differ significantly from those we are accustomed to. They are not merely the fleeting tremors of the surface. The Mariana Trench serves as a subduction zone, birthing some of the planet's most powerful and deepest earthquakes. The majority of earthquakes occur within the upper 50 kilometers of the Earth's crust. In the trench, events unfold, captured from hundreds of kilometers below. This presents a significant geological enigma. At that depth, the heat and pressure are so immense that rock ought not to exhibit brittleness. It ought to be malleable, easily shaped and molded. It must remain intact. And yet, it truly does. It breaks apart. Tremors are being recorded from a location previously deemed geologically incapable of such activity. Though these profound tremors lie too deep for us to sense them on the surface, they frequently serve as the catalyst. As the tension dissipates, it has the potential to channel that immense energy upward, resulting in a sudden jolt of the entire overlying plate. In such moments, the plate functions as a colossal paddle. It displaces a column of water that reaches miles high, pushing the entire ocean, and serves as the catalyst for some of the most powerful tsunamis. The trench appears to be a subtle, yet powerful force, driving significant transformation beneath the surface. Yet, that tumultuous tectonic movement is not the sole means by which the Earth's profound energy finds its way out of the trench. It has a tendency to leak. When one contemplates ocean vents, the image that often comes to mind is that of fire. One can envision the abyssal chimneys depicted in documentaries. Dark, noxious clouds of smoke surged from the depths of the ocean floor. And the trench possesses those elements. Yet, it possesses an additional quality, something more peculiar, a realm that appears to adhere to an entirely distinct set of principles near the Ifuku volcano. Within the Mariana Trench system, a discovery was made by scientists, a vent. As the robotic submarines drew near, they observed chimneys releasing fluid into the surroundings. Yet, the absence of black smoke lingered in the air. There existed no flames. Instead, shimmering pearlescent bubbles rose from the cracks in the rock. They were releasing nearly pure liquid carbon dioxide. On the Earth's surface, CO2 exists as a gas. To transform it into a liquid, one must apply extreme pressure and maintain very low temperatures. The trench, as it unfolds, reveals itself to be the ideal setting. This location stands as the sole known site on Earth where such a phenomenon occurs naturally. The scientists who made the discovery aptly named it the sparkling abyss. The perspective is otherworldly. It is a slow, cold, and steady stream of liquid gas bubbling up from the planet's mantle, rising like the fizz in a glass of champagne. It offers a view into a remarkably foreign chemistry. In a realm where the laws of nature twist and turn, the very breath we release transforms into a shimmering liquid, cascading from the stone like a mystical stream. This eerie, unfamiliar setting serves as a reminder that the trench transcends mere geography, embodying a complex chemical essence. The pressure not only compresses, but also fosters unique conditions and materials that are unattainable on the surface. Yet, in close proximity to this chilling, peculiar anomaly, there lies its blazing counterpart, a location where the trench ceases its leaking and, rather, begins to bubble with heat. These are the renowned hydrothermal vents, recognized as abyssal chimneys. Within these areas, the ocean floor exhibits a delicate thinness. Seawater trickles through fissures in the Earth's crust, journeying deep into the depths until it nears the magma, the molten rock of the mantle. In that place, the temperature reaches an astonishing level, exceeding 400 degrees Celsius or 750 degrees Fahrenheit, scorching to the point of liquefying metal. Yet, at this depth, with such immense pressure, the water remains unable to boil. It is unable to transform into steam. It transforms into a pressurized, acidic, superheated fluid. This fluid seeps into the rock, eroding it and transforming into a dense, poisonous mixture, abundant in minerals such as sulfur, iron, and zinc. And then, it discovers an escape. It erupts back into the ocean, surging forth from chimney-like formations on the ocean floor. As the 400-degree acidic fluid encounters the near-freezing, ambient water of the trench, the dissolved minerals immediately solidify. As they gather, a cloud of fine, dark particles forms, resembling thick, billowing, black smoke. It stands as one of the most unfiltered, straightforward moments in existence. A realm where the searing heart of the Earth converges with the frigid, overwhelming depths of the ocean. For decades, it was assumed that these places were sterile. What could endure a surge of corrosive water, heated to the point of melting lead? What could possibly exist in a darkness tainted by sulfur? It was believed that all life on Earth ultimately drew its energy from the sun. Yet, as the robots arrived at the abyssal chimneys, they discovered a vibrant ecosystem, bustling with activity and abundant life. In the depths of the ocean, they discovered vast forests of pale, giant tube worms, each measuring 6 feet in length, devoid of mouth and stomach, thriving on the chemicals surrounding them. Fields of ghostly white crabs were discovered, blind and scuttling over the chimneys. In the shimmering water, shrimp were found clustered so densely that they appeared to be boiling. This revelation came as a surprise. In this toxic, superheated water, life thrived without the need for sunlight. It was independent of photosynthesis. A new biology emerged, flourishing through the process of chemical-driven life. The creatures in this realm were consuming the toxic sulfur and chemicals, harnessing energy from the Earth's raw heat. This discovery indicated that existence operated under a completely distinct set of rules. That discovery of chemical-driven life transcended mere revelation of a new ecosystem. It cast a veil of uncertainty over our most essential narrative, the beginning of life itself. For generations, the cherished narrative of our origins was a tender one. They referred to it as the Genesis broth. Life was envisioned to have its origins in a cozy little pond, as famously articulated by Charles Darwin. A shallow pool on the Earth's surface, illuminated by sunlight, struck by lightning, where basic chemicals gradually, over countless ages, came together to form the first living cell. It was a tale woven from the essence of light and air. Yet, these abyssal chimneys, these fierce, superheated chemical furnaces lurking in the darkness, presented a new, much harsher, and possibly more credible alternative. This represents the dark origin theory. The theory posits that these vents serve as ideal self-contained laboratories for the emergence of life. All the essential components are present. Water is present with them. The extreme heat serves as a catalyst for chemical reactions, much like the way lightning might influence the surface. And above all, there exists a compelling gradient. On one side, there exists the superheated, acidic, mineral-rich fluid originating from the Earth's core. On the other hand, the cold, slightly alkaline water of the deep ocean converges with these elements, and within the porous, microscopic cracks of the chimney rock, a potent chemical energy is set free. It resembles an inherent power source. This location is rich in hydrogen and methane, essential elements for the foundation of life. In this location, minute iron sulfide pores within the rock may have functioned as the earliest cells, gathering these chemicals and enabling them to form organized structures. It presents an intriguing concept. Life may not have begun softly under the sun's warm embrace. It might have emerged from the shadows, shaped within a tense and seemingly unforgiving setting. If this theory holds, it suggests that the trench is more than merely an odd biological spectacle. It might become our sanctuary, the shared dark and chemical-rich birthplace for every living thing on Earth. It also hints at a significant truth regarding the universe. If life can commence in utter darkness, then it stands to reason that starlight is no longer a requirement for existence at all. To find these strange life forms, however, you must enter a realm that is almost mythological. Scientists divide the ocean into zones of light: the sunlight zone, the dusk layer, the midnight zone. But below that, at around 6,000 meters, you enter a place so deep that it was given its own separate classification. It is called the Hadal Zone. It is named appropriately after Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld. It is the realm where life as we know it was thought to be impossible. The Hadal Zone is not just a deeper, darker version of the ocean. It is a fundamental shift in the rules of biology. The defining feature is the pressure, which at this depth stops being a simple physical force and becomes a biochemical one. The extreme pressure actively attacks the building blocks of life. It invades the membranes of cells, making them rigid and unworkable. It can contort the very shape of proteins, stopping enzymes from latching onto other molecules. It essentially halts the engine of metabolism as we know it. For a complex animal from the surface, a descent into the Hadal Zone would mean death, not from being crushed, but from a system's failure. The nervous system would fail. The proteins would unwind. The cells would simply cease to function. This is why, for the longest time, we believed the Hadal Zone was sterile. We believed it was biological forbidden zone. But life, it turns out, is more stubborn than our theories. Life did not just visit the Hadal Zone. It adapted. It rebuilt itself from the ground up to see this impossible pressure not as a hostile force, but as a normal, necessary part of its existence. The creatures that live here are biochemical marvels, having solved problems we are only just beginning to understand. So what, then, is the master of this Hadal underworld? What kind of creature would you expect to be the apex predator in a realm of 1,100 atmospheres of pressure? Our imagination pictures a leviathan, something armored with a thick shell and a dense skeleton, a creature built like a tank to resist the crushing weight. The reality, discovered only a few years ago, is the complete opposite, and it is far more strange. The most successful predator in the deepest part of the Mariana Trench is a fish. It is called the Mariana snailfish, and it is a ghost. It is about the length of your hand. It has no scales. Its skin is a translucent, pale pink, almost completely transparent. Allowing you to see its organs functioning inside its skeleton is not hard calcified bone, but is made mostly of flexible cartilage. It is fragile, it is soft, it is almost gelatinous, and it is the king of the abyss. This creature is the ultimate example of hadal biology. It does not fight the pressure. It has joined it. The snailfish's body is a marvel of adaptation. To survive, it did not build walls, it opened the gates. Its cells are filled with special molecules called piezolites, which literally hold the cell's proteins and membranes together, preventing them from being squeezed apart by the pressure. Its body is, in essence, a gel. It has achieved a perfect, delicate equilibrium with the 16,000 pounds per square inch of force pressing in on it. This is also why it is a phantom. This fish can only exist at that depth. If you were to bring a Mariana snailfish to the surface, it would not explode. It would do the opposite. It would melt. Without the immense pressure holding it together, its very structure, the cells and proteins that were built to be supported by that weight, would simply fall apart. It would dissolve into a gelatinous slurry. It is a creature that cannot leave its prison, because that prison is also its life support. It is an animal built of pressure, a soft, translucent hunter that glides through a world that would vaporize us. The snailfish is not alone in its ghostly appearance. In the hydal zone and in the deep midnight zone just above it, evolution seems to have arrived at the same strange conclusion over and over. If you cannot fight the environment, join it. And if you cannot hide, you simply disappear. In a world of total darkness, there are no shadows, there are no caves or forests to hide in. It is just open, pressurized water. The only way to truly hide is to not be seen. The best camouflage, it turns out, is to become invisible. And so, the deep is filled with creatures that are, essentially, made of glass. One of the most spectral is the telescope octopus. It is almost entirely transparent. It is a gelatinous, slow-moving creature. Its body is so clear that the only things you can really see are its digestive tract and its two enormous, stalk-like eyes. These eyes are what give it its name. They are tubular, like binoculars, and they can rotate. They point upwards, constantly scanning the darkness above for the faintest silhouettes of prey, or for the shadows of predators hunting with their own lights. Then there is the glass squid. Like the octopus, its body is a perfectly clear, fragile balloon. It hangs in the water, almost undetectable. But this creates a problem. Its eyes and digestive gland are opaque. They would cast a shadow if a predator's light hit them. The squid, however, evolved an ingenious solution. It uses its own internal light, its bioluminescence, not as a beacon, but as counter-illumination. It produces just enough light to match the faint glow from above, effectively erasing its own shadow. It is a living invisibility cloak. These creatures are the phantoms of the abyss. They have engineered themselves out of existence, becoming living windows, fragile beings that float through the darkness, proving that in this extreme world, the best defense is not armor, but absence. To become invisible is one strategy in this permanent night, but there is another, more active, and perhaps more counterintuitive solution. If you cannot disappear, you must control the dark. You must make your own light. This is the world of bioluminescence. In the deep ocean, light is not a gentle, ambient presence. It is a tool, and because it is so rare, it is incredibly powerful. It is a language, a lure, and a weapon, all in one. The most famous master of this is, of course, the anglerfish. It is a creature that seems perfectly designed for an environment of absolute scarcity. It is, in essence, a vast mouth with a built-in fishing rod. Its body is globular and dark. Its teeth are needle-sharp and curved inward, ensuring that anything captured has no chance of escape. But its true genius is its efficiency. The anglerfish cannot afford to waste energy chasing prey in this vast, empty blackness. So, it does not hunt. It waits. It hangs motionless, and from its head sprouts a long, fleshy filament. At the end of that filament is a glowing, fleshy bulb called an esker. This light is not the fish's own. It is a living, symbiotic colony of bacteria, glowing faithfully in the dark. The fish provides them with a safe house and nutrients, and in return, they provide it with a constant, hypnotic lure. A smaller fish or crustacean navigating the dark sees this single pale blue light. It is the only point of interest in a featureless world. Perhaps it looks like a potential meal, a smaller microorganism. They drift closer. The anglerfish, sensing the movement, waits until the last second. With a sudden snap of its jaws, the world ends for that small creature. The hunter has captured its meal, using almost zero energy. Other creatures are more aggressive. The dragonfish, for example, is a long, black, eel-like creature, with fangs so large it cannot even close its mouth. It, too, uses glowing lures on its body to attract prey. But it also has a secret weapon, a piece of biological engineering that is almost unbelievable. The dragonfish has evolved a pair of searchlights just beneath its eyes. These are not blue or green, the common colors of bioluminescence. They glow with a deep, far-red light. This is a revolutionary advantage. In the deep ocean, the only light that penetrates from the surface is blue. As a result, almost every creature in the deep has evolved to see only the blue part of the spectrum. They are, for all practical purposes, completely blind to red light. The dragonfish, however, is one of the very few creatures that can both produce and see this red light. This means it has developed a biological sniper scope. It can shine its red beams forward, perfectly illuminating its prey. The prey itself, unable to perceive red, continues to swim in what it believes is total, absolute darkness. It is completely unaware that it is being watched, targeted, and hunted by a predator that has its own private, invisible spotlight. In this world, light is a complex and deadly game. It is a lure, a threat, and a way to find a mate. And for the dragonfish, it is a private spotlight, giving it the ultimate advantage in the permanent dark. The anglerfish and the dragonfish are the sophisticated hunters of the midwater. They play their games of light and shadow in that open, empty blackness. But on the seabed itself, on that vast, silty plain at the very bottom, life takes on a different form. It is less about the quick, energetic hunt, and more about slow, methodical processing. It is a world of sifters and grazers. When researchers first sent cameras down to the floor of the ultimate floor, they saw them scattered everywhere in the ooze. At first, they did not look like much. They looked like small, delicate, flat sponges. Some resembled pale, lumpy, discarded brains. Others had built intricate, flower-like, or root-like structures. But they are not sponges. They are not plants. They are not coral. They are xenophyophores, and they represent one of the greatest paradoxes of the abyss. The reason they are a paradox is their structure. That entire complex-looking organism, sometimes as large as your fist or even a dinner plate, is not a colony of thousands of creatures. It is a single cell. These are, by a vast margin, the largest single-celled organisms on Earth. They are, in essence, giant amoebas. They have no organs, no nervous system, no brain, no cooperation. It is just one enormous, sprawling bag of protoplasm. They are the simplest form of animal-like life, scaled up to a giant's proportions, and they have chosen the most complex and extreme environment on Earth as their home. How do they do it? They survive by slowly moving across the mud, absorbing nutrients from the silt, filtering the marine snow that has fallen all this way. But their true genius, if you can call it that, is in their architecture. To protect their single, fragile cell from the environment, they build a complex, branching shell around themselves. But they do not grow this shell like a snail does. They are collectors. They are microscopic masons. They sift through the ooze, carefully selecting specific materials from the sediment of grains of sand, the tiny, beautiful shells of other dead organisms, mineral flakes, and they glue them together using a kind of biological cement they secrete. The structures they build, called tests, are astonishingly intricate. They are not solid, heavy walls, but lightweight, porous, and strong lattices. This structure gives them a massive surface area, allowing them to absorb as much of the sparse nutrients from the water as possible, while also giving them a protected shape. The trench is full of them. They are a fundamental part of the ecosystem, creating the first level of structure on the otherwise flat, barren mud. And they are a strange lesson in evolution. In a place defined by crushing pressure, a place that makes it almost impossible for complex life to build hard skeletons of calcium, the most successful and largest creatures on the very bottom are the simplest of all. They are a reminder that in the trench, the rules are not just different, they are often inverted. It is the humble amoeba, not an armored leviathan, that seems to have inherited the deepest dark. The giant amoeba is a marvel of simplicity, but it is not the only creature that has achieved an unusual size in the deep. While the xenophophore became large by not being complex, another creature took a different path. It followed a strange, unsettling rule of the deep ocean, a phenomenon that scientists call deep-sea gigantism. This is a rule that takes the small and familiar and scales it up to an unnerving size. All over the world's oceans, in shallow water, and on beaches, there is a tiny, common crustacean called an amphipod. You have probably seen them. They are like sandhoppers or freshwater shrimp, small, scurrying creatures, rarely larger than a fingernail. In the grand scheme of the ocean, they are insignificant. When scientists first sent the baited traps down into the Mariana Trench, they were not sure what to expect. They were hoping for new species, perhaps the ghostly snailfish or other strange creatures. When they pulled the traps back up, they were not empty. They were filled, swarming with amphipods. But these were not the small, fingernail-sized creatures from the surface. The creatures that crawled inside the traps were pale, white, and unusually large. They were the size of a human hand. Some were measured at over 20 centimeters. One, captured in a different trench, was over 34 centimeters long, the size of an adult's shoe. This is the supergiant amphipod, Alicella gigantea. It is in every way the same humble, simple creature from the shallows. But in the trench, it has been magnified, as if a common house spider grew to the size of a dinner plate. This discovery was a biological shock. Why does this happen? The theories are still just theories, but they offer a fascinating glimpse into a different kind of life. One idea is that the extreme cold of the deep water, combined with the pressure, slows down a creature's metabolism to an almost glacial pace. These creatures don't grow faster than their surface cousins, they just live longer and perhaps never receive the biological signal to stop growing. In the warm, fast-paced surface world, life is short. In the deep, it is slow and long. Another theory ties into the scarcity of food. Gigantism might actually be an advantage in a food desert. A larger body is a better storage unit. It can hold more fat and more reserves. When a rare, large meal does arrive, like a whale fall, a giant amphipod can gorge itself, storing enough energy to survive for months, or perhaps even years, before the next feast. Whatever the reason, the supergiant amphipod is one of the most striking residents of the trench. It is not an alien monster from a bygone age. It is something we know. It is a common, everyday creature, twisted by the darkness, the cold, and the pressure, into a pale, armored giant that swarms the deepest floor on Earth. So, this entire strange ecosystem of ghosts, giants, and glass creatures raises a fundamental question. What does it run on? We have these apex predators like the snailfish, and these massive scavengers like the supergiant amphipods. But an ecosystem cannot be made of only scavengers and hunters. There must be a foundation, a primary source of energy. On the surface of the Earth, that energy is obvious. It is the sun. It fuels the plants, which feed the herbivores, which in turn feed the carnivores. It is a short, energetic, and obvious chain. In the Hadal Zone, 7 miles down, there is no sun, there is no plant life. The abyssal chimneys, the hydrothermal vents, are one answer. They provide a powerful chemical energy source, but they are rare. They are tiny, localized oases of life in a desert of mud that stretches for thousands of kilometers. They cannot be the only answer. They cannot be what fuels the snailfish and the giant amoebas miles away, out on the cold, flat plains. The genuine essence of the abyss is something much more straightforward, much more subdued, and much more enduring. There is a slow, endless, gentle rain of organic matter, drifting down from the sunlit world, miles and miles above. It is referred to by scientists as marine snow. A blizzard rages, not of ice, but of the echoes of existence and oblivion. The composition consists of the tiny, glass-like remains of deceased plankton. It is the scales of a fish. These are the fecal pellets produced by the creatures dwelling in the mid-water. It is merely dust. The decayed, fragmented bodies of every surface creature lie in a state of decline, each one having succumbed to death and commenced its gradual descent. This snow serves as the essential lifeline. It serves as the sole, scant link between the vibrant, swift, dynamic realm of the sun and the frigid, shadowy, sluggish domain of the trench. Yet, the journey stretches on endlessly. A solitary particle of marine snow, a remnant of a plankton shell, embarks on a journey that may span weeks or even months as it slowly descends from the surface to the depths of the trench. And on that long journey, it is dissected. The beings of the dusk layer are granted the initial opportunity, followed by those of the midnight zone. It is estimated that 90%, or perhaps even more, of this snow is consumed, recycled, and reconsumed by the inhabitants of the mid-water before it ever descends to the deep floor. What ultimately reaches the bottom is the final, least nutrient-rich remnant. It is the remnants of a grand celebration that took place far above and some time ago. It is a subtle, unyielding, and scarcely nourishing layer that rests upon the earth. And on this, nearly everything hinges. The giant amoebas take it in. The amphipods meticulously sift through the mud in search of it. The sea cucumbers consume it. This serves as the foundation of the food chain. Life in the trench unfolds as an economy rooted in starvation. In a realm defined by extraordinary, nearly unfathomable patience, beings find themselves in a relentless wait, enduring weeks for a feast that has been months in the making. This explains the leisurely pace of life in that place. This explains why metabolisms operate at a slow pace. In a realm that exists in a state of eager anticipation, the air is thick with the promise of snow yet to come. A realm constructed solely from the minuscule remnants of a paradise it shall never, ever behold. For decades, it was assumed that this marine snow represented the entirety of the system. It was the sole narrative that held significance. It was believed that all life in the deep mud formed a part of this straightforward, vertical chain. Anticipate the arrival of the snow, savor its essence, and ultimately become part of the cycle. However, recent discoveries from deep ocean drilling have unveiled a much more radical and peculiar concept. What if there existed another ecosystem beneath, a distinct parallel biology that thrived independently of the surface world? This theory explores the concept of a shadow biosphere. As scientists drilled into the sediment, extracting samples of the mud and rock beneath the trench floor, they uncovered the presence of microbes. This was not surprising in itself. The revelation lay in the unexpected diet of these microbes. They were not gathered at the surface of the mud, anticipating the descent of marine snow. They lay hidden, concealed within the layers of sediment, and even within the tiny pores of the solid rock. Yet they remained vibrant and alive. It seemed as though they were subsisting solely on a concoction of chemistry. Certain microbes appear to be consuming the rock itself, gradually stripping electrons from minerals through a chemical process that unfolds at an incredibly slow yet consistent pace. Yet, an even more intriguing theory proposes that they could be residing on something entirely different. Microbes that can endure radiation are now being uncovered. The natural, low-level radioactive decay occurring within the planet's rock and sediment emits a minuscule amount of energy, yet it remains unchanging. It has existed for billions of years. For a microbe that has reduced its entire metabolism to an almost timeless state, this faint, radioactive pulse could serve as a means of survival. This is a deep contemplation. If this holds true, it suggests the existence of beings on Earth thriving within a wholly enclosed environment. They exist outside the realm of our sun-centered food web. They remain detached from us, from the whales, from the plankton, and from everything within our realm. Their perception of time would be utterly unfamiliar to us. A microbe consuming radiation from a rock could take an entire millennium to divide just once. It would be a life form, existing in a state that hovers on the edge of geological time itself. Could they be the original, or perhaps a very ancient, form of life on Earth, concealed from the turmoil above, or merely a fascinating quirk of evolution? The answer remains elusive for now. Yet, the potential is intriguing. It implies that our observation of the trench might reveal more than a singular ecosystem. It was possible for two to be positioned directly atop one another. One exists in a realm familiar to us, surviving on the remnants provided by the sun. In contrast, there exists an entirely distinct realm, a shadowy existence that thrives on the subtle, gradual energy emanating from the very rock. The ecosystem of the trench is characterized by these two remarkably sluggish economies. The steady, sparse rain of marine snow unfolds, nurturing a life defined by profound patience. Then there exists the theoretical shadow biosphere, potentially thriving over millennia by utilizing rock and radiation as its sustenance. Both exist in a state of deep deprivation. Yet, from time to time, an event occurs that shatters the conventions of this famished realm. A happening that brings forth an extraordinary windfall, a singular, colossal, and entirely unforeseen prize. It is referred to as a whale fall. Envision a 40-ton humpback or a 90-ton blue whale succumbing in the radiant realm far above. The enormous form, burdened beyond the capacity to stay aloft, embarks on the prolonged, inevitable plunge. It descends for days, drifting through the twilight, beyond the midnight zone and into the profound depths. As it reaches the depths, a transformative moment unfolds for the ocean floor. In a fleeting moment, a solitary spot on the desolate, muddy expanse receives an abundance of nutrients, far surpassing what it would typically encounter over the course of hundreds or even thousands of years. It emerges as a colossal mass of flesh, fat, protein, and bone, unexpectedly appearing in a barren landscape of scarcity. And then, the celebration commences. This celebration unfolds in unique, captivating, and specialized phases, each characterized by its own community. Initially, the mobile scavengers make their entrance. The call resonates through the air, and every creature capable of swift movement gathers in response. The ghostly snailfish, the supergiant amphipods, and, when the depth is just right, the slow-moving, ancient sleeper sharks of the deep come to life in a captivating narrative. They come in a whirlwind, tearing away the tender flesh from the remains. This stage is marked by violence and chaos, potentially enduring for many months or even a few years, until most of the flesh has disappeared. After the large scavengers have departed, the second wave makes its entrance. These individuals seize the moment. The region has undergone a profound transformation. The sediment around is saturated with liquefied fat and nutrients resulting from the decay. This enriched mud draws in a fresh array of smaller creatures. In the mud, one can find crabs, worms, and smaller crustaceans coexisting in their natural habitat. They do not consume the whale directly. Instead, they thrive on the nutrient-rich soil and the flourishing bacteria that inhabit it. This phase may extend over a number of years. At last, the most unfamiliar and extended phase commences. What is left is merely the skeleton, yet the bones hold a profound significance. These are filled with abundant fats and oils. At this moment, a unique community of chemosynthetic bacteria makes its entrance. As they commence the breakdown of these lipids, sulfide is released, the very chemical discovered at the abyssal chimneys. This chemical release, consequently, nurtures a burgeoning community, a peculiar, plant-like creature known as Ocedax, or the zombie worm, descends upon the bones, drilling into them to consume the fats contained within. On the skeleton itself, clams, mussels, and various other creatures start to flourish. The bones of the whale have transformed into a novel, ephemeral, hydrothermal vent. The skeleton transforms into a vibrant, pulsating reef. This ultimate, specialized ecosystem has the potential to endure for 50, 70, or, in certain instances, even 100 years. A solitary whale fall transcends mere sustenance. It represents the formation of a fleeting island, an intricate, self-sufficient realm. Life finds a way to forge vibrant pockets of diversity amidst the unyielding mud, and from a singular, monumental demise in the light, a flourishing realm emerges in the shadows, capable of enduring for a human lifetime. A whale fall represents a remarkable occurrence in nature. The cycle of life and death unfolds, deepening the abyss in a manner that has persisted for millennia. Yet, the trench's most striking characteristic, its profound and suffocating solitude, has rendered it a potential site for various, more artificial entities. Throughout human history, the deep ocean has served as an ideal refuge, with the Mariana Trench standing out as the deepest, most secure, and most enduring sanctuary on the planet. In a moment of desperation, one might ponder the best place to conceal an object, something so deeply unwanted that its mere existence should remain hidden from the world. Where could it possibly be stowed away, far from the gaze of humanity? One would place it 7 miles below, letting it descend into the depths of the ultimate floor. This concept transcends contemporary thought. This dark, strategic value became apparent almost immediately upon the revelation of the trench's true depth. That discovery unfolded at the exact moment when humanity was stepping into its most paranoid and secretive era, the Cold War. This marks the point where established truths fade away, giving way to profound and disquieting conjectures. The US Navy, which funded and operated the Trieste, possessed a profound scientific and strategic interest in the trench. Yet, what lay beneath the surface of that curiosity? For decades, theories have circulated. It is widely believed that the trench served as a burial site. In the intense arena of Cold War technology, experiments met with failure, spy planes plummeted, and on occasion, rival submarines or advanced technology were seized, or at the very least, retrieved. What actions are taken with a failed, top-secret prototype or the remnants of a Soviet craft that must remain undisclosed? It cannot be concealed upon the Earth. It could potentially be discovered. It cannot simply be submerged in the ocean. There is a possibility of recovery. However, should you tow it across the Mariana Trench and sink it, it will vanish without a trace. It stands as an object removed from existence, safeguarded by an immense force of 16,000 pounds per square inch of pressure. And then there exists the sound. Earlier, there was a discussion about the deep sound channel, a peculiar feature of the trench that can transmit sound over vast distances, reaching thousands of kilometers. In the 1960s, the US Navy understood this better than anyone. At that very moment, they were deploying a secret global network of hydrophones known as SOS, a system designed with a singular purpose: to monitor the movements of Soviet submarines. The theory, while unconfirmed, presents a logical possibility that this network may have extended into or near the trench. It would serve as an ideal naturally amplified listening post for the entire Western Pacific. Are there still concealed, passive arrays beneath the surface, buried in the silt, quietly listening? The answer may remain elusive. The records, should they be in existence, remain sealed. These narratives do not revolve around creatures of the night or spectral beings, but rather delve into the intricacies of human secrecy. The reasoning is precise and unambiguous. The trench serves as both a military asset and a scientific marvel, and it is highly probable that within that shadowy mud, concealed beneath the whale bones, rest other, more rigid, angular secrets waiting to be uncovered. The remnants of a worldwide struggle cast aside by the surface dwellers during a time of trepidation. Yet, those possible military secrets, those deliberately concealed items, may represent merely a fraction of a far broader and more concerning narrative. The trench's isolation rendered it a target not only for the things we wished to conceal, but also for those we longed to erase from memory. Throughout much of the 20th century, the industrial world regarded the deep ocean as a vast, unoccupied expanse. It existed as a practical, seemingly boundless emptiness. The philosophy was straightforward, and nearly everyone embraced it. When something is hidden away, it often fades from our thoughts. They held a belief, tinged with innocence, that the vastness of the ocean would wash away their troubles, rendering them insignificant. It was thought that what descended into the abyss would, in every meaningful way, just vanish. And thus, they discarded. For decades, the deep oceans have been utilized as a default landfill across the globe. Millions of tons of industrial chemicals and heavy metals, such as mercury and lead, were released into the environment. Ships laden with remnants of obsolete chemical weapons from past conflicts were scuttled, their contents deemed unwanted and hazardous. And then, there emerged the most challenging waste of all, material that is radioactive. Between the 1940s and the 1980s, numerous countries, the United States among them, regarded the deep ocean as the most sensible and economical option for disposing of their nuclear waste. Low-level and, in some instances, high-level radioactive slurry and contaminated materials were sealed into steel drums, frequently encased in concrete, and then unceremoniously dropped over the sides of ships into the ocean's deepest depths. The Mariana Trench, known for its depth and isolation, was not exempt from the unfolding events. It was, indeed, a leading contender. The reasoning appeared to be solid in that moment. The concept revolved around the trench being geologically stable, isolated, and sufficiently deep to hold anything within its depths. The waste would remain separated from humanity for all time. However, it has become clear that this reasoning was fundamentally misguided. The steel drums were never intended to endure for ages. They were undoubtedly ill-equipped to endure the relentless onslaught of corrosive salt water, coupled with an overwhelming pressure of 16,000 pounds per square inch. The pressure has the power to buckle them, while the salt brings about rust. Over the decades, they corrode, implode, and ultimately leak, and the trench reveals itself to be, undeniably, the most unfavorable location for a leak. It is not a vast expanse where forces can scatter and lessen the issue. The deep, V-shaped trap serves to concentrate everything that falls into it. The toxic materials, the heavy metals, the radioactive isotopes, they do not simply vanish. Instead, they seep into that delicate, pale sediment. From that point, they become intertwined with the most basic forms of existence. The giant amoebas envelop them. The amphipods, sifting through the mud, consume them. They make their entrance into the slow, patient food web with a quiet and unseen grace. The search led them to an alien world, a realm filled with phantoms and peculiar biology. Yet, what we uncover, hidden within that pale silt, is a subtle and unsettling reflection of our own industrial era. And yet, the relationship with the trench seems poised to evolve into a new and more intricate chapter. It has been utilized as a repository, a space to cast aside what was feared or deemed unwanted. Now it is starting to be seen as a treasure chest. The irony lies in the fact that the very features which foster such distinctive life in the abyss, the hydrothermal vents, and the abyssal chimneys serve as the origin of this newfound, fervent industrial ambition. When the 400-degree mineral-rich fluid from the Earth's mantle encounters the cold seawater, it produces those billowing clouds. However, once the smoke clears, it does not merely create a layer of dust over millennia. Instead, it accumulates into substantial solid formations. These formations are known as polymetallic sulfide chimneys, representing a concentrated source of ore. These items are filled with copper, zinc, silver, and gold. However, of greater significance to our contemporary economy, they possess an exceptional abundance of rare earth elements. These are the minerals that energize our lives in the 21st century. The cobalt found in a phone's battery, the neodymium utilized in an electric car's engine, the terbium present in a laptop's screen. On land, the quest for these minerals is increasingly fraught with challenges and political intricacies. Yet, in the depths of the ocean, they remain, stacked high around these ancient, unexamined vents. This has sparked what numerous observers are referring to as a fresh wave of opportunity. It is a calm yet chaotic competition in technology, spiraling downward. At this very moment, numerous nations and private corporations are engaged in the design and construction of the machines necessary to accomplish the task. The discussion revolves around colossal robotic harvesters, submersible grinders, and bulldozers, each comparable in size to a small building, capable of descending 7 miles deep and functioning in complete darkness. Their mission is straightforward: to reach the ocean floor, traverse the distinctive, vibrant chimneys, and reduce them to a fine slurry. The slurry was subsequently pumped through an enormous hose stretching for miles, reaching a processing ship stationed on the surface. The intention is, in essence, to initiate the extraction of resources from the depths of the ocean floor. The implications are hard to exaggerate, for these vents are more than mere stones. As it has been revealed, they exist as the oases within the abyss. These serve as the singular sources of concentrated energy and vitality across vast stretches of land. This form of mining would not merely disrupt the ecosystem, it would obliterate it entirely. It would be akin to leveling an entire rainforest to access the soil hidden beneath. The giant tube worms, the blind crabs, the shrimp, the bacteria, and the entire unique food web that thrives on chemical-driven life would face immediate destruction, with the repercussions likely extending beyond containment. The grinding process unleashed immense, suffocating clouds of sediment, plumes of silt that could travel for miles, overwhelming and smothering nearby ecosystems that were never intended to be affected. They found themselves at the brink of a momentous decision, one that could lead to the systematic eradication of an entire, unique biosphere. A realm recently unveiled, a realm that could conceal the mysteries of life's beginnings, all in pursuit of the fundamental components needed for our forthcoming wave of technology. And yet, this devastating, large-scale pursuit of gold is not meant to be feasible. In reality, the Mariana Trench is not merely a wild expanse. It stands as one of the most safeguarded marine ecosystems on Earth. In 2009, the United States designated the vast majority of the trench and its surrounding waters as a marine national monument. It stands as a safeguarded haven. This title carries a sense of strength. It resonates with certainty. It evokes visions of an immaculate, unspoiled wilderness, a national park for the profound. It imposes legal restrictions on commercial fishing and, crucially, on resource extraction activities such as deep-sea mining. Yet this safeguard, much like the very layout of the trench, encounters a challenging truth. The initial and most apparent challenge lies in the enforcement aspect. A national park on land features various ranges, complete with gates where one can observe the border. How do you patrol a place that is 7 miles deep and covered in permanent darkness? How do you stop a robotic deep-sea harvester from a rival nation from accidentally straying into a protected zone? The sheer logistical challenge is immense, but the more profound problem is one of jurisdiction. The ocean, is not owned. While the US monument covers a vast area, the trench itself is a complex geological feature. Parts of it, and the resource-rich areas surrounding it, lie in what are known as international waters, or the high seas. And in those waters are different authority rules. The International Seabed Authority, or ISA. This is the global body in charge of managing the ocean floor that belongs to everyone. And critically, the ISA is the very body that is currently writing the rules for deep-sea mining. They are the ones granting the exploration licenses that allow corporations to test their mining equipment. This creates a strange bureaucratic and troubling paradox. A protected sanctuary that is bordered, and perhaps even overlapped, by a potential mining claim from a different global authority. And even if the mining happens just outside the protected border, the physics of the ocean do not respect human laws. You cannot stop the pollution, the toxic plumes from a mining operation, the clouds of sediment kicked up by the grinders. They will drift. Ocean currents will carry them. They will settle, burying the very ecosystems the monument was designed to protect. The designation of national monument is a necessary and noble gesture. It is a statement of intent from the surface world, a line drawn on a map. But in the cold, pressurized and silent reality of the abyss, it is genuinely unclear if that line can truly protect a place we can't even see. It is not surprising then that this place, so deep, so dark, and so fundamentally defended by its own physics, has captured our imagination in a way that goes beyond science or law. When a place on our own planet remains this unknown, this powerful, and this hostile to our existence, it ceases to be just a location on a map. It becomes a symbol. It becomes a mirror for our deepest, most primal anxieties. Long before the Trieste ever descended, before the abyssal chimneys were discovered, before we had any real idea of what was down there, the writer, H.P. Lovecraft was searching for a concept to anchor his new mythology. He was not interested in common ghosts or simple monsters. He was interested in a far greater, more philosophical kind of fear, the fear of the cosmic, the unsettling realization that the universe is vast, ancient, and completely indifferent to humanity. In the 1920s, he wrote of ancient godlike beings called the Great Old Ones. And when it came time to imagine a prison for the most powerful of them, Cthulhu, he did not choose a distant galaxy or another dimension. He chose the deep Pacific. He invented a fictional sunken city called R'lyeh, a place of nightmare corpses and non-Euclidean geometry, where the dead god Cthulhu lay in his dark house, waiting and dreaming. Lovecraft had, perhaps instinctively, tapped into the power of the trench. He understood that the truest horror is not an active, malevolent evil. The truest horror is an indifference that has been here all along. The Mariana Trench is the real-world embodiment of that idea. It is a world that existed for billions of years before us, and will exist for billions of years after us. It is a place that does not know we exist, and would not care if it did. Our survival, our fears, our morality, our pollution, they are meaningless concepts at that depth. The pressure is not evil, it is just a law of physics. The darkness is not malevolent, it is just the absence of a sun it has never known. This is the trench's cultural power. It is the last remnant of a truly alien Earth, existing right here within our own. It is the manifestation of the great, unsettling, unknown. We can send our probes, we can draw our maps, we can even write our laws to try and protect it. But the abyss, it just waits. It dreams its own, slow, cold, and geological dreams. It is this profound, ancient indifference that makes it the perfect cellar for the planet. A place where our imagination, confronting its own limits, stores its deepest fears. That feeling, that Lovecraftian sense of an alien world, is no longer just a fantasy. In a strange and fascinating twist, modern science is now looking at the Mariana Trench for almost exactly that reason. We are, as a species, collectively obsessed with a single defining question. Are we alone? To answer it, we are no longer just looking at distant, Earth-like planets in other solar systems. In recent years, our hopes have focused on a new, much closer, and perhaps more promising target: the icy moons in our own solar system. We are speaking of Jupiter's moon, Europa, and Saturn's moon, Enceladus. These are worlds that are, on their surface, completely hostile. They are frozen balls of ice, locked in a deep freeze, and bombarded by the intense radiation of their parent planets. But beneath those miles-thick ice shells, we are now almost certain there are vast, global oceans of liquid water. They are dark, they are cold, and they are kept liquid not by the distant sun, but by the gravitational pull of their giant planets. This constant tug-of-war flexes the moon's rocky cores, creating immense heat from friction. A dark, cold, liquid ocean, heated from below by geothermal energy. This should sound familiar. It is the exact model of the hydrothermal vent systems we have found in our own deep ocean. If we are going to find life on Europa, if we are trying to design a probe that can survive the journey and know what to look for, we must first look to the Mariana Trench. It is our best, and perhaps our only model for what extraterrestrial life might actually look like. Life on Enceladus, if it exists, will not be a photosynthesizing plant. It will be, in all likelihood, a chemosynthesizing bacteria. It will be a creature that thrives on the sulfur and methane of a hydrothermal vent, just like the tube worms and blind crabs of our own abyssal chimneys. Life on Europa will not be a complex vertebrate fish, but if it has evolved, it will have had to solve the same identical problems our ghost snailfish solved. It will need to be a creature built of pressure. Its cells will need to be protected by those special molecules, piezolites. Its body in a kind of gelatinous equilibrium with its environment. The trench has, in this strange way, become a field of applied astrobiology. We are studying its dark, cold ecosystems, not just to understand our own planet, but to prepare ourselves for the discoveries we hope to make on others. It has taught us that the sun is not an absolute requirement for life. It has taught us that extreme pressure is not a barrier. It is just a different set of rules. And it has shown us that if life can take root in a place as impossibly difficult as the Mariana Trench, then it is no longer quite as much of a stretch to imagine it taking root in the cold, pressurized darkness of a distant alien moon. But how will we explore these new worlds, both our own and those on other moons? The age of the heroic manned descent, the Trieste, and the deep-sea Challenger may already be over. These were incredible, singular moments, driven by human courage, but they were also extraordinarily risky, incredibly expensive, and, in a scientific sense, inefficient. A human being, encased in a massive steel sphere, is a fragile and complicated passenger. We are, after all, surface creatures. We are not built for the Hadal zone, and the engineering required to protect us is a monumental barrier. The future of exploration, it seems, is not human, it is robotic. But this is not the future we once imagined in the 1970s, with one large, clunky, tethered robot crawling on the seabed, connected by a thick cable to a ship above. That method is slow and limiting. The new generation of explorers is being designed to be something else: smarter, smaller, and most importantly, free. Engineers are now developing fleets of small, autonomous, AI-driven submersibles. And many of these new designs are soft-bodied robots. Their engineering, inspired by the very creatures that live in the deep: the squid, the octopus, the snailfish. They are being built to be part of the environment, to move with it, not just to fight it with brute force. The idea is to stop sending one multi-million-dollar vehicle and instead release a swarm. Imagine a support ship on the surface, releasing not one, but 100 of these small, intelligent probes. They descend together, communicating with each other through simple pulses of light or sound. They do not need a pilot. They do not need a cable. This is where artificial intelligence becomes a necessity. At that depth, radio control from the surface is impossible. Water is a wall for radio signals. The robots must be able to make their own decisions. Their AI allows them to navigate, to identify targets, and to share information. One probe finds a hydrothermal vent. It calls to the others who swarm the location, mapping it in 3D, taking chemical samples, and filming its inhabitants, all without a single human command. If one probe is lost to the pressure or gets trapped, the mission does not end. The swarm learns, adapts, and continues. This is how we will finally begin to fill in the blank spaces on the map, not with a single heroic spotlight, but with 1,000 tiny points of light, moving and thinking as one. This is how we will search for life on Europa. We will not send a single billion-dollar lander. We will likely melt a hole through the ice and release a swarm, letting it hunt for vents in the alien dark. The future of exploration, it seems, is not about conquering the abyss. It is about learning from it. It is about building machines that are as resilient, as adaptable, and as intelligent as the strange, soft-bodied life that has thrived there for millennia. We have traveled, in our minds, to the very bottom of the world. We have descended past the last light into a realm of immense pressure and unexpected sound. We have followed the story of the first explorers and their cracked window, and we have searched for a phantom fish. We have met the true, strange inhabitants, the ghostly snailfish, the giant amoebas, and the phantoms of the abyss. We have seen the chemical oases of the abyssal chimneys, which may be the very cradle of life, and we have also seen the shadows of our own world, the plastic bag, the theories of military secrets, the barrels of nuclear waste, and the coming race to mine the seafloor. We are, in our modern age, a species obsessed with answers. We are uncomfortable with ambiguity. We have built a world of data, of satellites, of instant information. We strive to fill every blank space on the map, to solve every riddle, to leave no question unanswered. We tend to see the unknown as a temporary problem, a failure of our knowledge that will eventually be solved by more technology and more data. But this journey to the trench suggests something else. It teaches us that the unknown is not a failure, it is perhaps a necessity. The Mariana Trench's greatest secret may not be a creature, or a sound, or a geological marvel. Its greatest secret may be mystery itself. The trench is the last great bastion of the truly unknown on our own planet. It is the physical proof that we have not solved the puzzle. It is the humbling, 7-mile-deep reminder that we are small, and that the world we live on is still, in its deepest parts, a profound, ancient, and indifferent wilderness. A world with no more secrets would be a smaller world. It would be a world without real curiosity, because curiosity is fueled by the genuine belief that we do not know all the answers. It is the engine of our science, our art, and our philosophy. It is the what if that pulls us forward. We need the Mariana Trench to exist just as it is. We need to know that in an age of total surveillance, there is still a place that cannot be easily seen. In an age of constant noise, there is still a place that holds its own deep sounds. In an age where we feel we've mapped everything, we need to be reminded that we have barely scratched the surface. In the end, the true value of the abyss is not the minerals we can take from it, or even just the biological secrets we can learn from it. Its true value is its existence. It is the planet's final, quiet promise that there is always something deeper. There is always something more to discover, and there is always, still, a profound, beautiful, and necessary mystery waiting patiently in the dark.